Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala, amma ba'd. Surah Lahab, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam received the revelation, and then he was then called or told to call the people to Islam. And so he had a major gathering. And as you'll see, like we said about the profile of the character that we made, he would know, and his name was, we said Abu Kalb, right? Abdul Shams. He would know very well the style of the Arabs when someone would attack them. For example, they would have, if somebody wanted to raid a village, they would go on the outskirts, wait until nightfall, wait until, around Fajr time where people are most asleep, and then they would attack them when they were, or had the most sleep. And so if anybody saw this, they would climb up on a mountain in their village, and they would shout out, Wa sabaha, Wa sabaha. When you put the wow in front of a word, and then you put a ha at the end, then it's like calling out. So for example, Sarmad came in late for class, right? And every day he's coming in late, And then we put a wow in front of his name and an alif, we go, Wa sarmada, right? Wa sarmada. And if you do it like really long, like Wa sarmada, that means like, woe to you, why do you keep coming late for class? And you can do that for Wa islama, or if you know the story of Mu'tasim, the Khalifa, when the woman was attacked by one of the non-Muslims, and she called out Wa Mu'tasima, and her statement that she called out to him, why aren't you helping, like the Muslim women, and then he started an army, like they said, the beginning of the army, arrived at the non-Muslims, and the end of the army still hadn't left, because of that one woman calling out in his name. So they would get up on the mountains and they would say, Wa sabaha, woe to an evil that's going to come to you in the morning. And they would say it in a much more violent way than the way I'm saying it right now, because it's the morning right now. Wa sabaha. So the Prophet ﷺ, he got up on this mountain and he basically said the same thing. He said to the effect of, Wa sabaha, but he was calling the people, Beni so-and-so, Beni so-and-so, and he was calling the tribes, calling them specifically. And the people, they heard this, and they started saying that this is a Sadiq al-Amin, the truthful one. He's calling us, let's find out what's happening. So it wasn't just a casual, there's a lecture going on. No, it was a serious thing. He was calling them all out. So they all gathered there. And then he told them, and this makes you understand the story a little better, that he said, after everybody had gathered, and this wasn't just anybody calling out, it was Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam who was doing it. So he said to them, if I told you there was an army behind this mountain waiting to attack you, would you believe me? And this was their custom. And he was the most truthful amongst them. They say, there's no doubt we would believe you. We've never tried or we've never experienced a lie from you in your whole life. And then he said, فَإِنِّي نَذِيرٌ لَكُمْ بَيْنَ يَدَيْ عَذَابٍ شَدِيدٍ. That indeed I'm warning you of a grievous punishment about to befall. And so that was the message. Now it's the chance. Everybody could have became Muslim and Mecca conquered and Islam would go everywhere. And that was the moment where Abu Lahab said and called out on behalf of the whole group, تَبًّا لَكَ. He said, may you perish. May you be destroyed. أَلِهَذَا جَمَعْتَنَا. He said, you gathered us only to say this. And Abu Lahab walked away. And all the people walked away with Abu Lahab. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this verse, this surah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد. This surah, it has different names. It's known as Surat Lahab, it's known as Surat Masad, and it's known as Surat Tabbat. So Surat Lahab, which is flame, Masad, you'll see that coming inshaAllah, and Tabbat, which means to perish. Abu Jahl's name, obviously Jahl means ignorance, and that wasn't his name, but that was the name, the official name he got after that. His real name was Abdul Uzza. Uzza was their idol. Ibn Abdul Muttalib. His wife was known before as Al-Awra Jamil bint Harb. Al-Awra Jamil bint Harb. Awra means like cockeyed. Al-Awra Jamil bint Harb. And they both of them, the husband and the wife, they spent their lives harming the Prophet ﷺ in any way that they could. They would follow him, they would curse him, they would physically abuse him ﷺ. And because of that, they became of the most wretched people in all of the history of humanity, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this upon them. In ayah number 1, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tab. You'll see the first, the word tabbat coming twice. Correct? Tabbat yada, the hands of Abu Lahab wa tab. And he is perished. Okay, let me go through the words, inshallah. Ma aghna. Aghna is benefit him. Maluhu is his wealth. Wa ma kasab, and what he accumulated. It says there his children, but what he accumulated, kasab is what he accumulated. Ma aghna, that it didn't benefit him. Sayasla, meaning that he'll be thrown into. Naran is the fire. Dhata is a description of that fire. Dhata lahab. Lahab is the flame. Is the fire of flames. Wamra'atuhu, imra'a is a woman. Wamra'atuhu, his wife. Hammala is the carrier. Al-hatab, which literally means wood. We'll explain that inshallah. Fi jidiha, in her neck. The jidiha is her neck. Hablun is rope. Min masad, of palm fiber. Ayah number 1, like we said, tabbat comes twice. The first one, tabbat means destruction. And it says they're perished, but it means to lose everything. So if someone loses everything, they'll say tabbat. It would be said to them, if you want to curse someone, tabban lak. May you perish, may you lose everything, and may you be destroyed. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, it's almost as if the first one is a curse, and the second tab is a statement of reality. And they're both statements of reality. Tabbat yada. May the hands, or perish the two hands of Abu Lahab. But it's not like anybody else making a dua against someone. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying that perished be his hands, watab, and they are perished. A statement of reality. In this perishing, and Abu Lahab was, and you'll see statements coming up from Abu Jahl, Abu Lahab, statements that would come up where they would start saying things like, oh, my wealth and my children will avail me in some way on the Day of Judgment. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that there's no wealth that will avail him. And then it says there, وَمَا كَسَبْ, his children, but that actually, everything he accumulated in life. And so the ulama, as Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, he said things like honor. He accumulated honor. He accumulated position in life. He accumulated status. He accumulated wealth. He accumulated children. All of that availed him in no way. مَا أَغْنَى عَنْهُ مَالُهُ وَمَا كَسَبْ. Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, he narrates that when this surah was revealed, when the Prophet ﷺ called the people to Iman, Abu Lahab said that if what the son of my brother says is true, I'll merely ransom myself on the Day of Judgment. Meaning that when the gatekeepers of hell come to take him away, he'll bribe them. Look, here's $100 for you, $100 for you. I'm going to paradise. And that's what he would tell the people, that I'll just ransom myself. I'm so rich and I've gathered all of this. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, مَا أَغْنَى عَنْهُ مَالُهُ وَمَا كَسَبْ. In verse 4, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that it wasn't only him, that his wife also